It's been a minute. Christ, it's been 4 years. Anyways, for my last and only video, I talked about 2001 A Space Odyssey, and that video sucked. I didn't talk much about what I liked or disliked about the movie. It was just a glorified plot summary for my ninth grade science class. Yeah, I don't want to do that again for my channel. I want to actually talk about movies and what I like about them, what I don't like, all that stuff. So in this new year, Happy New Year's by the way, I'm gonna use this channel of mine to talk about movies and review them, share my thoughts, feelings, same for other things I like, such as video games and comics. And what better way than to start with a good old-fashioned ranking video. 2025 was a packed year for movies. Some of my all-time favorite movies released that year, and others were
It's you!
something. So what better way to talk about them than by putting them from worst to best. Also, keep in mind, I haven't seen every movie from 2025, so I'll be missing some clear stinkers and some clear winners. But for any movie I do miss in this video, I'll be sure to put on my letterbox, link in the description. So, without any further ado, this is my personal 2025 ranking.
You failed!
Holy sh!
Ow.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 Diamond is Unbreakable mentioned. Anyways, War of the Worlds 2025 sucks. I didn't think it was possible for movies to be this boring. This movie is just so bad, man. I watched it purely for this list and because I want a truly awful movie on it, and boy did I get one. It is insane to me how not a single thing works in this godforsaken movie. The effects are terrible, the acting is flat from everyone, the editing is atrocious, and the story is so boring. The first 20 minutes of the movie is the best part because I was actually having a good time laughing at how bad it was, but then it just kept going and going and going and going, and oh my god, this movie is terrible. I just had to keep telling myself that I sat through Joker 2 fully ado, and I hate the movie with my entire soul. Joker 2 is by far the worst of the two, but maybe I'll get into that in a different video. Still, this movie blows. They use a fucking Amazon drone to save the world. A Amazon drone. I think that tells you the quality of this movie. Another thing that tells you the quality about this movie is that it was made during a pandemic. So you already know how high the production value is. It's not at all. This movie is rumored to be made with $65 million, but I seriously doubt that. Unless hiring Ice Cube really costs that much. This movie is just an hour and 30 of Ice Cube barely emoting at aliens on a computer screen. It is a chore to get through. And the product placement, oh my lord. Every character has some kind of Apple product. They bring up Amazon several times, and a character escapes an alien attack using a Tesla. Are you kidding me?
You out of your mind?
Don't watch this movie. Straight up, just don't bother. There's nothing redeemable about it at all. This is editing Bimby here, and I forgot to mention that I have the exact same JoJo's poster from War of the Worlds. I'll show it on screen right now, but yeah, I thought that was really funny. I forgot to mention that.
Am I in your body?
Am I in your body?
Freaky or Friday is fine. It's a cute enough movie that doesn't fully rehash the first. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say. The story is what you'd expect. Lindsay Lohan's daughter is rebelling and not getting along with her British. Wow. British. Lindsay Lohan's daughter is rebelling against her and not fully getting along with her British stepsister, so the two daughters swap bodies with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, and hijinks ensues. The jokes are very hit or miss, mostly misses, but I did laugh at a few jokes. I thought the stepdad character was funny, it probably made me chuckle the most out of any character, but some jokes with Jamie did get a few laughs out of me. The ending is basically the same as the first, with the daughters forgiving Lindsay Lohan and deciding to be one big happy family.
The end.
There are a lot of callbacks to the first movie, which gets kind of annoying. Not really much else to say. If you like the first and for some reason haven't checked this one out, give it a watch. I think you'll enjoy it.
I am placing blocks and shit cause I'm in the fucking Minecraft.
The A Minecraft Movie is good for the first time you see it, and then never again. And by the first time, I mean the one time I saw it in theaters with some friends, and every other subsequent viewing left me feeling dull. And by good, I really mean ironically enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, that first theater experience was fantastic. I honestly enjoyed it more than my theater experience with Endgame just because of how much fun it was to yell a bunch of stupid memes with the rest of the theater. But other than that, yeah, it's just not a good movie. It's super generic with its story and characters. Main character kid, I can't remember his name, I don't feel like looking it up, is the new kid at school who just loves to create. But when he's rejected by his peers, he wants to stay in Minecraft land, but then eventually learns that the real world isn't so bad and learns to embrace his creativity no matter what. But okay, no one really watches the Minecraft movie for the story or characters. People watch it for the funny and the Minecraft. So is it funny? Kinda. Most of the humor revolves around Jack Black and Jason Momoa doing shenanigans, which is entertaining, but I wouldn't say a lot of them are laugh out loud funny, except for when they 6ix9ine. That made me laugh really hard actually. But also, most of the funny comes out from the stupid memes that spawned from before the movie even came out, which, again, entertaining, but not really a funny, well-crafted joke. Actually, I lied. Most of the movie is very funny when in the real world. In those scenes, you can really tell the guy who directed this also directed Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. This movie is just so soundbiteable. Now, how is it as an actual representation of Minecraft? It's pretty good. We see a lot of biomes and items and game mechanics from the game used here, even the epic emoji water bucket when Jable says, "Covered in hot!" Also, I was a big fan of the Technoblade cameo. It was genuinely a really nice way to honor him in a film like this. They wasted Dan TDM though, they didn't give him a line. As a movie, it's serviceable to kids. As a Minecraft movie for Minecraft players, it's also serviceable if they just want to see in-game things in a movie, but not really a whole lot of substance as an actual movie.
Because I'm a bad guy.
I'm sorry Bad Guys fans watching this, but I think the Bad Guys 2 is just alright. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but story-wise, it's not one of DreamWorks' best. Animation-wise, it's great, it's a masterpiece. The action is really fluid and smooth. I also love how expressively animated everyone is. The characters are still enjoyable in this, although a bit one note, but Mr. Snake was surprisingly a standout in this. His relationship with the Ladybird is genuinely heartwarming and funny. The movie really succeeds in making you want them to stay as a couple. Also, the rocket ship climax was awesome, for sure the best part of the movie. Unfortunately, I did feel that the story was a bit generic with how the bad guys are good now, but uh-oh, they have to do one last heist. It felt played out and didn't really engage me. I will say, if you haven't seen it yet, give it a chance. I'd say it's a pretty good and funny time.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Man, f Warner Brothers for screwing over this movie with like the negative amount of marketing they did for it. I had to hear about this movie on Twitter, and by then, its theatrical run already ended. The Day the Earth Blew Up is so much fun, and everyone should watch it. It's a really funny movie, and it got a good amount of laughs from me all throughout. Both Daffy and Porky were such delights to watch, and I really liked the twist hero alien character. He was funny too. Unfortunately, the rest of the characters were just okay. The scientist guy, after being freed from the mind control, did get a laugh out of me with like one joke, but he was just kind of generic. Oh, and how could I possibly forget Farmer Jim? It was really nice seeing how much he cared for Daffy and Porky, and his design is great. We stand Farmer Jim in his household. The alien invasion plot was real delight, and I love the gain a job montage. However, after like 20 minutes of them figuring out how to defeat the gum zombies and actually fighting them, the movie felt a little dull and dragged out, especially after Daffy and Porky were captured. It's a duo movie, so that means our main leads need to have that third act breakup, which is never forced. The extra stuff does feel tense, however. You really feel how dire the situation is, even if, you know, the main characters are gonna win in the end. But man, that fake-out death just felt so forced, and the movie really lingered on it for way too long. It kinda annoyed me how much the movie tried hammering in that Daffy and Porky are actually dead, but obviously are fine in the end. Also, yes, I do consider this a 2025 movie. It had a wide theater release in March. I will die on this hill. Screw you, Letterboxd and Wikipedia.
And rounding out the evil all-stars, Wicked Witch.
When I initially watched Wicked for good in theaters, I loved it. I thought it was a great continuation of the first Wicked, an improvement on Act 2 of the original play, and some of the songs were better than the first, in my opinion. Why, you may be asking, why is it so low on your list then? Well, after getting some thought, I realized, yeah, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought story-wise, and there weren't many improvements on Act 2. Like, why couldn't everybody just cast a different spell to protect Fiora when he was captured? Like, why did it have to be him turned into a scarecrow? I get her wording was weird with the book, but why a scarecrow besides the fact that the Scarecrow is a Wizard of Oz character. On top of Elphaba's wording, why couldn't she just cast an invincibility spell? Also, why didn't they improve on that fight scene when Elphaba was trying to grieve to make it more of an argument between her and Glinda, much less play it off for laughs? I get why they couldn't get Nessa to walk, because her actress who does need a wheelchair, but her not walking really lessens the impact of the scene she and Elphaba share. And it was too referential to the Wizard of Oz, and had few too many reprisals of the first movie. Edith Slater is hilarious when he's trying to act serious and angry. His voice and face just doesn't fit it. Also, I really wish the movie was more colorful, because this movie just looks like it's screaming to be vibrant, but it looks so washed out. These are just a few complaints I have on the movie I can think about on top of my head, but for a few positives, I really like the sets and how they're all practical. Like, they f***ing built that train, dude. That's crazy. Everyone's acting is so on point, not yours, and I stand by this. Regardless of how she is as a person, Ariana is really good as Linda. She really brings nuance to the role and showcases her struggles on wanting to be a good friend to Elphaba, but also getting sucked in by her selfish desire to be loved as a magic user. Also, man, the songs. Unbelievable here. Wonderful is a personal standout for me. And man, that duet Elphaba and Glinda share at the end when Glinda is hiding had me choked up, I can't lie. Overall, I still really enjoyed Wicked for Good, definitely more than most people, at least, despite its faults.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I.
Nobody 2 is such a kick-ass movie, man. It's great. I didn't like it as much as the first. I think the first had better pacing, the story felt more refined, and I liked how it felt more grounded. That being said, holy man, the action is way better, with the exception of the bus fight from the first. The set pieces in this bring so much tension to the fight, and I especially love the boat fight and how it makes you think for a moment Hutch actually lost and has to retreat, but no. He gets right back on that boat and continues to kick ass. It's so cool, you have no idea. I also love how many characters get involved with the action, like Hutch's wife and a new dad character who you think is going to be a bad guy, but is really getting screwed over by the main bad guy. Danny Lloyd is back and he's awesome in this as always. Riz is also back and he's ninja. RZA, why are you using your rooting style? Actually, on second thought, it might have been too powerful for this movie. I also like how they dive into Saul Goodman and RZA's backstory when they were kids, going around with Doc as he does illegal criminal stuff. Not gonna lie, as I'm writing and reading this, I'm starting to realize I think I like Nobody 2 over the first. It's just so good.
I can't feel any of this.
Novocaine is just so much damn fun, man. One of the best regular guy unexpectedly kicks the crap out of ass kind of movies, akin to the Nobody movies. Jack Quaid really sells this movie. It makes it believable that a guy like Nate, as awkward and unthreatening as he is, can really fight back against these criminals and win. This movie feels a lot like a boss rush in a sense where Nate never fights a big group of guys, just like one guy or at most a boss with some lackeys. And I really like the CEO of Sex being here to be Jack Quaid's online friend. He's really charming. Also, despite going on literally one date, Nate and Sherry's relationship is so nice and you really feel the connection. Also, I am not the first to say this, but Jack Quaid would be an X in Max Payne. If Jack can just talk in a deeper voice for a whole movie, he would be perfect. Like, look.
Who are you? I'm Callista Flockhart. Who the hell do you think I am? I'm deaf.
Man, I love the Final Destination movies, not you. It's one of my favorite horror franchises ever, so when I heard there's a new movie coming out in 2025, I was ecstatic. So, how was it? Holy shit, the more I think about this movie, the more I love it. All of the kills and bloodlines are so gruesome and creative. All the characters are actual characters with personality and motivations. Seriously, this might be my favorite group of characters in the entire series, which makes their deaths even more tragic when they eventually start dropping like flies. I also love how they went at the actual story differently, where the main character gets a premonition of a previous incident with their grandmother in the form of a nightmare. As soon as it showed the main character got the premonition, oh man, I was hooked instantly. And man, Tony Todd's scene and final words had me choked up. They were both heartbreaking and beautiful. Rest in peace to a legend. This one might be on par to the first for me, if not even better.
What the? It made another me!
Mickey 17 rocked, but it's not perfect. The political satire is very on the nose to the point where it's obvious what the movie is trying to say, and even a bit obnoxious at points. Also, the first few parts of the third act felt a little slow, and they didn't flesh out being expendable as much as I hoped they would. That being said, I still thought this movie was great. This is the best performance Robert Pattinson has given yet, and that's saying a lot for me, considering how much I glaze his Batman. The way he gives Mickey 17 and 18 their distinct personalities and mannerisms, with 17 being the more timid one, 18 being the more confrontational one, is done so well. I also really like 17 and 18's relationship. No, they don't have a relationship. No, they don't. What? Freudian slip. No, it's not. No, it's not. I also really like 17's and Nasha's relationship. It's cute and you can really tell how much they care for each other. Mark Ruffalo was also great in this. He plays the main villain in such a perfectly annoying way that you just really want to see him get his comeuppance at the end. The slow creatures were great too. They were oddly adorable. I don't have a whole lot to say more honestly, other than that Bong Joon-ho delivers once again, and it's definitely worth the watch.
I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30. I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30. I'm not a big fan of the government. 30.
One Battle After Another is really damn good, but I unfortunately didn't like it as much as many others did. Now, before you get up in arms, no, it wasn't because of the political messages. If you're someone who doesn't like this movie for that reason, I think you're lame. Anyways, the first hour just didn't really do it for me. I feel like it could have been condensed into 30 minutes. But after Willa goes out to the dance, this movie becomes an absolute roller coaster ride. Leonardo DiCaprio was phenomenal in this. He really sells being a paranoid dad who ultimately wants what's best for his daughter, but just isn't great at parenting. You really feel the panic whenever he hears Lockjaw, the main villain, first begins looking for them. And Chase Infinity does an amazing job as Willa. She portrays every emotion with such a great sense of heartbreak. And Sean Penn as Lockjaw. Holy shit, one of the scariest and most intimidating villains ever put to film. But it's also really funny. He was just wilding the entire time. And I was a bit disappointed that Perfidia. And I was a bit disappointed that Perfidia didn't come back after the aforementioned first hour, but honestly her letter to Willa made me happy she didn't come back, because if she did, it wouldn't have had the same impact. And as previously stated, this movie is really funny. The running gag of Bob never remembering the passcodes to the French 75 is hysterical. I laughed at every instance, except for the last instance, because it was just a really sad but heartwarming reunion with Willa and Bob. Really, my biggest complaint other than the first hour is I just want more from this world. I want to see more of Bob and Willa and their relationship. I feel like if my biggest complaint of your film is I want more of your already 2-hour and 40-minute movie, you're doing something right. Also, this is my first Paul Thomas Anderson film, and man, I'm so excited to check out his other features. I'm still a little bit bummed that the first hour didn't click with me, but maybe a rewatch in the future will help.
Rip and tear until it is done.
What? Kill Demon Hunters are my top 5. Yeah, sorry to all the dude bros who hate this movie for no apparent reason, but Kill Demon Hunters slaps actually. Ignoring said mindless hate, I surprisingly love this movie. A friend recommended it to me when it first came out, and the first time I watched it, I thought it was just pretty good, but then I watched it a second time, and it kind of just clicked in my head. I just adore so much about this movie, and obvious standout is the music. Even ignoring the actual K-pop songs, this movie has an amazing score, especially for the fight scenes that don't have K-pop in it. But man, the original songs are good too. How It's Done is unironically my consultation music I listen to. But I lied, the actual best part of the movie is the animation. I mean, just look at it, it's so expressive and stylistic. They even detail when the characters don't have makeup on, that's insane. If you told me back in like 2017 that Sony Animation would be the best animation studio in recent memory, I would have called you crazy, but here we are. One minor complaint I have is the story is too reliant on the liar reveal trope, and it doesn't really do anything new with it. But other than that, I love all the more mature topics this movie handles in here, like Rumi's self-loathing to an extreme bullying point, her fear of abandonment, and how emotionally absent of a parent Celine was and is to her.
Why can't you look at me? Why couldn't you love me? I do. All of me!
I can easily see this movie helping people cope better struggling with these issues. And it's all done in a way where it doesn't feel out of place or hand-fisted, it feels natural with the story and characters. Speaking of the characters, I love how they all feel so distinct yet similar, like you really buy into their friendship and how much they care about each other. Even when Rumi's revealed to be a demon to Zoe and Mira, I like how hesitant they are to do anything. Even though they're told to kill demons on sight, they see their friend as a demon and don't know what to do. God, I really love all the small characteristics that made Shiro get so much. If you haven't seen it yet, absolutely give it a try.
Yeah. My granny called, she said, Travis, you work too hard, don't worry, you forget about me.
It's 2021, I'm watching the best MCU movie since Endgame. It's 2023, and I'm watching the best MCU movie since Endgame. It's 2025, I'm watching the best MCU movie since Endgame. Jokes aside, Fantastic Four First Step slaps so hard, it's great. I love how this is an MCU movie where they just let the story have stakes and flow without the need to throw in several quippy jokes. Don't get me wrong, this movie is funny, but it's more so the actual personality and dynamics of the characters that give the funny moments instead of the characters having to make a random witty joke every time something happens. And God, I love how the four actually feel like a real family instead of just a group of astronauts that are vaguely familiar with each other. They just vibe together so well. And I adore how much they act like their comic versions. It's such a treat to watch. Sue is actually smart here and not just there for sex appeal. Reed actually feels smart in a non-generic way. Ben is lovable in this, and we actually get to like him instead of pity him. And surprisingly, Johnny was a real standout in this, and got to be smart too instead of just a playboy. You can see the pattern where previous interpretations got it wrong. And Galactus. This has been talked to death about, but finally, they let Galactus just be a big planet-eating guy and not some stupid cloud. I love how they don't try to give him any grand or greater motivation for eating planets. He's just a big dude who has to eat planets to survive. He feels like an actual powerful adversary to the Four without forcing him to be an Avengers level threat. Unlike what Marvel is trying to do with another Fantastic Four villain, but I'll complain about that when that movie comes out. First Steps is great, definitely give it a watch.
It's as if we're two characters in a movie being played by the same actor.
Wow, just wow. Sinners is not only one of the best movies of the year, but of the whole decade so far. Everything about this movie is just a masterpiece. Like in Final Destination Bloodlines, this movie gets you so engaged with the characters early on, and when they all inevitably start getting turned to vampires and or killed, it is so heartbreaking. There are a few performances that have wowed me this year, but Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack amazed me. Despite literally being played by the same guy, Jordan just disappears into both roles completely. Even the rest of the cast just left me in awe by how well everyone did. Miles Katz as Semi Moore is amazing in this, especially for his first featured role. I know he has a bright career ahead of him. And man, as soon as they enter the juke joint and it turns nighttime, you just feel the whole atmosphere shift. Because of the cold open, you know this is really when about to go down. And boy, does it. Remick as an antagonist is so cool and scary, while also being charming and funny. The way he says Sammy perfectly encapsulates his whole character with just a single word. Don't even get me started on how this is shot. This is one of the best movies I've seen visually. The way everything is framed and composed visually is just a marvel to look at. And as much as I love Cable Demon Hunter's music, I Lie to You absolutely deserves to win Best Original Song at the Oscars. It makes me feel so many different emotions and says a lot about Sammy as a person and how he feels about his dad while sounding amazing. Especially in the scene when all of the different eras of culture come together. Just everything about this movie is just so unbelievably good. Please watch it. You're doing yourself a disservice by not.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman.
Yeah, I'm biased. This movie is just everything to me. I don't even know how to put it to words, but this movie is just beautiful to me. I love Superman with all my heart, and it was so frustrating to see over and over again just how mischaracterized and misrepresented he was before this movie came out. Superman just encapsulates everything I love about the character and why he is and will always be my favorite superhero of all time. The story, although messy, feels exactly like a 5-issue event in the middle of a comic run, and I love it for that. I love the other characters feel so much more fleshed out than other mainstream interpretation we've gotten. Lois feels like a true journalist. Jimmy finally has that unspoken riz he's known for. Even other heroes introduced in this movie shine. Guy Gardner is an unlikable douche, but that's how God intended, and I love it. Mr. Terrific is such a badass here. He's one of my favorite characters here. Unfortunately, Hawkgirl didn't get a lot of time to shine, but what we got with her was great. And Lex, finally, the general public know how much of a psychopath he is. It isn't as crazy as him stealing 40 cakes, which is as many as 4 tons, but it's a close second. And Superman, after going through the entire 2010s of DC trying to turn him into a darker character who's more super than man, is finally the uplifting character he was meant to be. It's been far too long since we had a Superman who's Superman and not Superman. David Cornsweet was perfect for this role, and nothing will ever change my mind. He is Superman in my eyes, and I'm so happy that this generation of kids will grow up with the version of Superman I wish I had growing up. As you can tell, all the reasons I love this movie are a lot more personal than anything subjective to how this movie is. But you know what? This is my list, and I could do whatever I want, damn it. Even then, this is just an actually really good movie. I especially love the direction of it. Don't let the Snyder Bros lie to you. James Gunn has sauce as a director. And finally, a movie with color in it. This movie is so colorful and vibrant. Every frame of this movie just oozes of color. Even some of the darker scenes are so well lit, there's never a moment where you don't see what's going on. Superman is just incredible, man. If you haven't for whatever reason, please watch it. I'm begging you, on my hands and knees. All this said, there's still one movie, both in terms of quality and how I like it personally, I feel is even better. Frankenstein. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen a movie that gets everything so right. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is, in my eyes, as close to a perfect movie I think is possible. I haven't seen a movie before or since that is done as masterfully as this. As someone who loves the book, I think every change Guillermo made is justified for the story he wanted to tell with the source material. He had a vision and executed it perfectly. The characters, although different from the book, are written and characterized so fantastically, a comparison just feels unwarranted. The main highlight is surprisingly Jacob Elordi's portrayal of the creature. When news first broke that Jacob Elordi replaced Andrew Garfield as the creature due to scheduling conflicts, I was pissed. I didn't like J.B. Lordy as an actor, and it turned me off from the movie. So when I eventually watched it, I was floored. He gave me my favorite performance, not only of the year, the decade, or even the century. J.B. Lordy as the creature is my favorite performance of all time. I've never seen a role quite like that one before, and I fell in love. Never once was I even close to seeing him out of that role. All I could think of was, yeah, that's the creature. Even with the best performances I've watched, especially if it's a famous actor, I've always had a thought in the back of my head. That thought being, wow, so and so is really good in this role. But not with this movie. You know how I said Michael B. Jordan disappears in his role as Smoke and Stack? Jacob Elordi completely transforms into this role. Not to undermine anyone else in this movie, Oscar Isaac and Maya Goth are both amazing in this movie, especially Isaac as the titular Victor Frankenstein. But probably my favorite part in this movie is when the creature stumbles upon this random cabin after being shot and just stays with the people who live there, out of sight. It's a sequence pulled straight from the book, and it's as beautiful and tragic here as it was in the book. I knew how it was going to play out, but it still broke my heart watching it unfold. All the scenes between the old man and the creature were magic. It was the first time the creature was shown any amount of kindness, only for it to be ripped from him after he goes out to discover who he is. The death of the old man is one of the saddest deaths ever put to film. You really feel every painful emotion the creature felt in that moment, for not only losing the only friend he ever known, but for being alone again. And ending with Victor finally accepting the creature as his son after being so cruel for so long always makes me tear up thinking about it. Frankenstein is truly the greatest movie I've ever seen. Please give it a watch if you haven't. Well, that was my list. I hope you enjoyed this little ranking video I made. And if you want to watch more related videos from me, make sure to subscribe. Again, these were movies I saw myself. I didn't watch every movie as you saw. But when I do watch those other movies, you can check them out on my letterbox in the description. And trust me, my next upload won't take another 4 years. I promise you that. Good night, everyone watching.